Alright, well, hello everyone, and it's Zeeks, your host here at Let's Play Kerbal Space Program. And in this second video, we shall be flying a three-man capsule to the moon to rescue a stranded Kerbonaut, which we left there on our last flight. So we're going to be see if we can do precision landing and landing a three-man capsule. So here we go. So we have our persist here, and now let's go to the VAB and build a three-man ship. And this is the three-man capsule. And this is quite useful for the mission that we're trying to do today, because we're going to have to pick one guy off the moon, which means you're going to have to leave one of these three behind. So let's build a pretty basic ship here. We're going to want to land and then come back. And we have these engines called the atomic rocket motors, which are very fuel efficient, so let's use those, because fuel efficiency is good. So let's do that. We're going to want that farther up, so we can put some landing legs. Alright, now we're going to want a parachute so that we can separate from the rest of the ship when we come back into Kerbin's atmosphere. And then we shall be needing an SAS, because this is going to be a relatively large ship. There we go. So now all the fuel will drain there, and we have landing legs. So let's save this as ES3. And let's just do a quick test launch to make sure that we kept all the parts together correctly. Alright, so as soon as it launches, and we'll see if we can put the gear down. Yes, we have gear down. Let's make sure the engines work. Yep, we have engines. Okay, so, and then we'll see, yes, we can separate from the main ship. And then we can deploy the parachute. Whoops. So yes. So now we'll just end that flight, and we will put the rest of our ship on. So, see, the thing is, with this new version of KSP, we have some larger pieces, as you can see down here, and some larger attachments. So we're going to make a much larger ship than before. Same relative design though. And these large pieces tend to be relatively powerful, so there's less strategy in designing them than with the smaller pieces. With the smaller pieces, you have to design quite a lot more fuel efficiently, but these pieces are so big that it's difficult to be efficient at all with them. But that's okay. Okay, so now our ship is nice and close here. So we're going to just put some attachments and stuff to make sure that everything stays together. And some little controllable fins there. And I didn't show it last video, but these launch stability enhancers, they keep the ship anchored and they prevent it from moving around on the launch pad, which is going to be useful with this large ship. So we're going to be putting some of those on, and they're set to release on the primary stage there, so everything should fire at once. And have I missed anything? Don't think so. Let's see, we have ship, landing, ship, return. Okay, everything looks good. Uh-oh. Okay. Okay. So this will be the launch of the ZS3, bound for the moon, hopefully to save our stranded Kerbonauts. So, okay, everything looks good. A little bit of wobble there. Probably should have braced that inner tank. Oh dear, that's going to be a problem. Alright, looks like everything's going well. Not the fastest of ships, but... Oh, and the cockpit of this ship is pretty cool. We have, it's Apollo style, with 2 people sitting in the sides, and 1 man in the center below the other 2. So we should have good visibility here. And looks like we're ascending pretty well. Looks like this is a night launch, so we do not see any atmosphere of any kind, but okay, looks like everything's going well. That wobbling seems to worry me a bit. Because if that hits any other parts of the ship, it'll probably explode. Alright, well here we go. We're going to start our rollover. Oh dear. Oh dear, our ascent stage is gone. It just kind of fell off. I just realized that. Okay. So we're going to have to prematurely end this flight, probably, unless we can get it into orbit. But it looks like we're doing okay. So I don't think we'll need that center stage. Yeah, so we'll probably have to brace that next flight. The ship is bouncing around quite a lot. Alright, and here's our lander stage. Which might not be the best of ideas, but yeah, we're gonna have to cut this one short. And we're gonna jettison. And we're just gonna let it take us. Yeah, no, we didn't even get to the edge of space there. We're pretty far back. Alright, well, the ship does work, we know that. Just need to do some minor modifications, and then it will fly even better. It's probably not the best sight to see. Oh dear. Okay, good, there's the parachute. Alright, so that's a successful flight. Kind of. Not really, because we didn't make it in orbit. But anyway. So we're now going to brace up our ship. Here we go. This should keep it safer. Hopefully. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think it'll be safer, but it certainly won't blow apart. Okay. Let's just kind of brace that up a little bit. Yeah, that'll be better. Okay. And probably we should add a little bit of RCS. So we're going to add some of that. There it is. Oh dear. Alright. Okay, we don't need that RCS. Alright, here we go. Alright, we are launching to save our comrade. Our fallen comrade, although he isn't really fallen. He's more of a flying comrade. Either way, we're coming to save him. Oh, shoot, I forgot something. We're going to have to drop one of the Kerbonauts out. Yeah. So now we only have 2 Kerbonauts in this spaceship. Yeah, I think he died. Anyway. We don't need him. He's unimportant. So, there are now only 2 people left in the ship, and they look relatively happy to see him gone. As you can see, we no longer have anyone sitting in that seat. It's an empty seat now. So, and here we are, everything's good as normal. And it looks like it's much better stable. It's much more stable now, because it hasn't exploded. And yeah. So we just gotta wait till this thing gets up into orbit, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into a standard orbit like we did before, and transfer to the moon. Only when we get to the moon, we're gonna get into an orbit where we'll cross paths with our stranded Kerbonaut, and we will hopefully burn to stop right near him, or close enough that he can just EVA over to us, and then we'll take back off again and come back into Kerbin. Alright, looks like we're at 11,000. So we're going to start our nose over. This is where the center pylon came off this first time, so hopefully it won't happen this time. Oh dear. There we go. Sorry about that, a bit of lag. Hopefully it won't hurt your viewing experience. Anyway. So we're almost into orbit here, and looks like we've got most of our fuel. No, we don't have much fuel. No, we don't have any fuel left. So this is going to be a hard part here. We're going to have to get out from around these things. Oh dear. Ooh. Okay. Oh dear. Stuff's exploding. Okay. Okay, stuff's exploding. Alright, there we go. No more explosions. Oh boy, wow, we really screwed up that stage. Alright, fine. Anyway. So now we have 4 tanks left, and we should have enough Delta V to get into orbit. Just need to check our map. So as soon as that gets up to 60 or 70,000 meters, we shall be stopping our engine, if we can even get up there. I'm hoping we can soon, but until that happens, we'll just have to wait and hope the ship doesn't explode. Sorry for the silence, it's just not much to talk about when this ship is heading up. It's doing everything like it's supposed to. This is working very well. Wow, that's interesting. One of our Kerbonauts is extremely happy, and the other one is scared out of his mind. Alright, well, we hopefully won't scare him too much. Okay, here we are nearly at Kerbin apoapsis. We don't have much fuel left, but we should be able to make an orbit and hopefully do a translunar injection before we run out of fuel. And by the way to do that is to, I think I said this before, when the moon is on the horizon, you burn towards it. Anyway, that's a good reference point. But so here we are, we're heading towards our apoapsis. And when we get there, we should just do a quick burn and be in orbit. Because we only have around 200 meters a second, we need to add to our speed to get into orbit. So here we go. So here it goes. Nearly there. 70. Yes, there. Okay, we're now in orbit. And we still have quite a bit of fuel left. Alright, so we're going to warp until the moon comes into view, and then just do a nice little burn towards it. Okay, there it is. Okay, okay, this is a very large ship, so it takes quite a while to maneuver, but that largeness also adds to its delta V, so it should be able to do a lot more than the standard ship, which includes carrying a 3-man crew. Although we only have 2 men right now, but that's because we left one behind to save our fellow. Alright, we're burning to get into orbit with the moon. It's called a translunar injection. When we get around 3,200 meters a second, we should be really close to, if not at, optimal burn time. Oh dear, okay, we ran out of fuel. Alright, we'll separate and go to the next stage. The lander. Alright, but the lander has plenty of fuel in it anyway, because I have flown several versions of this to the moon and back, so this is a fairly proven design. It has less fuel than the standard version, but this one is a lot smaller, and so is designed to land on the moon. The other one I have is simply an orbiter. It's able to transfer to other bodies in the solar system, and relies on a special ship to land. But anyway, so this is a relatively good lander. It should be perfect for our mission, because it's maneuverable, yet has lots of fuel. And there, oh, there it is. Okay, so, perfect. Now we'll just warp to our lunar sphere of influence, and there we go. And there it is. Oh dear. Where did our Kerbal go? This is a most intriguing problem. Alright, so, well, it appears our stranded Kerbal has simply disappeared, but we'll hopefully find him soon. Hey, I wonder what that is down there. Look over there. Looks like an arch of some kind. Alright, well, we can investigate that if we can't find the missing Kerbal. But so we should put it into a nice orbit. And we still have huge amounts of fuel left. So as we get closer and closer to the moon, okay, looks like we have a relatively stable orbit. And now we will head to the persist file, or we will head to the Space Center to see where our stranded Kerbal is, because he has simply dropped off the map. Okay, so now we have his position. He's right there. So let's go to him. And he is standing there, still waiting to be rescued. Alright, so now we know where he is. He's right there. Okay, so now we're going to switch to this ship and take his relative place and hopefully land at it. Okay, so we're going to get to right about here. Okay, and then we're going to switch to the Kerbal again, if we can find him. Okay, we're going to have to go back to the Space Center to find him. Otherwise, we're going to have no idea where we are supposed to land. This is problematic. I don't think they had this problem in 17.0. I think this is new to 17.1. But anyway, so there's our point that we need to land at. So let's remember that. There's a little dot there next to it. So let's switch to our trusty ship and go towards that little dot, if we can find it. So let's go to the moon, and let's figure out where that little dot was. Alright, so we're just going to do some kind of generalized burn to slow us down, to get us in the vicinity. Let's put our gear down just in case. Okay. Uh-oh. Ooh, too much, too much, too much, too much. Come back, come back, come back. There we go. Okay, now we're going to turn northward and get closer to his position. That looks good. Let's just quickly go to the Space Center, because now we're on a suborbital trajectory. And let's just check to see where it is. Oh, look at that. It's perfect. Alright, so we will switch back to the ZS3. And although we will have to be landing slightly in front of our projected point, because otherwise we'll just crash into the moon. So we're going to burn a little bit just to make it go a little bit farther. There we go. And now we'll get down to within around, I'd say, yeah, okay, around 30 kilometers. Okay. I'm just going to check to see how fast this ship will burn. Okay, looks like we're going to need to get a bit farther out. So we're going to do that, because we want to land there, right? So the only way to properly do that would probably be to, yeah, go like that. Okay, there we go. So let's get a little bit closer, and now we're going to need to brake again. I know this seems weird, we're just going back and forth between braking and not braking, but alright, here we go. This is going to be our final brake. Okay, now we can see our Kerbal. He's down there. So we're going to use him as a little bit of a reference point. We are at 12,000 feet, or 12,000 meters. We are not dropping too significantly, but I am worried about our height right now. Alright, looks like we'll be landing in someplace near him, as long as we land. Landing is the important part. We've dropped altitude quite significantly. We have dropped our speed in half, though, which is a good thing, and we've only dropped around 8,000 feet, so we should have 2,000 feet buffer. So here we go. There's our Kerbal still, down there. And we just need to get this ship going slower. And we have this tank of fuel, plus we have 4 of these per engine, which means we should have around 800 liters of fuel per each engine, which means we should have enough to land. Okay, the ship looks like it's getting into a relatively stable position, and looks like we are almost directly on top of the Kerbal. So we're just going to kill our horizontal velocity, and we will land on the moon. Looks like right about there. And I do know that my last video was quite long, so this one shall be much shorter. It will be just this one flight. Unless, of course, we crash, and then it will be more than just this flight. Okay, we're at 3,000 feet. Oops. We can watch our little altitude radar gauge here. Alright, so yeah, looks like we're going to be pretty close to Rayford. Only problem is I'm worried. I think he's on a relatively unflat area of ground. But nevertheless, we shall land. Okay. So here we come. Uh, 1,000 feet to the surface. Rayford is less than 1,400 meters away. Surface 500 meters away. Surface 500. 400. Okay, it looks like we're doing okay. Just trying to keep the ship straight. Here we go. And we are 300 meters off the deck. Rayford is right there, 1,100 meters away. So he should be able to just, have a short EVA hop over. And we shall pick him up and then head back to Kerbal with plenty of fuel to spare. We've only used about half of our first tank, which is very good. Alright, let's get stabilized. We're at 5 meters a second, which is a little quick, but should be okay. Just kept checking our radar altitude right here. And here we are, 4.6, 4.5. Now there's no shadow, because we are landing on the dark side. I apologize for that. We can look, and yes, we are on the dark side, almost, like more of a on the horizon. Oh dear. Oh, okay, we're touched down now. I'm sorry, I went into a monologue there. But yes, we are now touched down. And we shall switch to our brave Kerbonaut, who stood here for, looks like 3 days? More than that, but... So he's been here for quite a while. But luckily he brought snacks, so he's okay. He's in fine health. And there's a large amount of rocks over there. And, by the way, this will be our first scientific flight. So we'll let this Kerbonaut rest, and the other two will go out and start looking at the rocks and stuff. Okay, but so here's the ship. It's mighty big there, but we should be able to get to it soon. Yeah, it looks like that group of rocks would be interesting to study. Or at least the Kerbonauts think that it's pretty cool. So, we're going to go over to that as soon as this guy takes a little break, because he's tired. And we're not going to make him, walk or anything. Oh dear. Ooh, okay. That hurt. Where do you think you're going? Whee! Okay, he's... flung. Okay. Stop! Come on, stop! Oh god, okay, look at that. He's slid quite a distance. This would be an interesting physics problem. I just had physics. Interesting class, but we're learning about friction. So, what kind of friction would be... Oh dear, okay. We're out of pack fuel, which means I think we're going to have to walk all the way over there. Alright, we can do that, though. It's not too far. But yeah, so we're learning about stuff like that. Anyway. Let's switch back over to our ship. We could bring it over to him, but let's not. Let's make him walk. I won't show you this whole video because the walking part takes forever. So... we're back, and I just realized something. There is no kind of ladder or anything on the ship, and without any RCS, he will not be able to get up to the ship to get in it. So we have a problem again. So we're gonna have to figure something out, because he won't be able to jump high enough. And we didn't bring any ladders or anything. We expected him to still have some RCS fuel. But now we have a problem. Unless he can, like, somehow parkour up the side of this. Ooh, no. Okay, yes, no, that's a good thing. No. Okay, let's see if he can walk up this ladder. Or this thing. Okay. Uh-oh. It's wiggling. That's not a good thing, but fine. Okay. Okay, well now we have this problem here, so let's switch back to this ship and let's let go here. Let's bring this guy down over here. Whee! Well, he's gonna say hello and kind of bump into him. Can we push him in any way? Now see, this guy has RCS, but the other guy does not, so. Okay. So we're just gonna get this guy to board. Give me a second, I will figure this out. Alright, well, don't ask me how, but I managed to put 50% EVA fuel in Rayford's backpack, so he will now be able to climb the ladder. He siphoned some fuel from his friend down there. He was very helpful. But he's going to do some scientific experimenting now. Well, Rayford gets some sleep. Because Rayford has worked very hard staying alive. Because it's very cold on the moon. So here's his friend. So he's going to grab his little rocket pack, and he's going to just kind of fly over here, see what's around. Just take a look at some rocks, take some samples maybe, and then we're going to head back to Kerbal. So let's just, come over here, see what this rock is made out of. Ooh, air. This rock is now made out of air. Okay. I guess it's like the trees of Kerbal. They don't actually really exist. Because I've tried flying through trees and rocks on Kerbal, and they too are just like this. So that's interesting. But so we can take part of the rock. Nom nom nom. Okay. So now that we have rock, let's kind of just head back here. So let's get our EVA back again. Where's our ship? There it is. Okay, so let's just kind of head over to our ship, make sure it all looks okay. All the pieces are stuck together and everything. Whoops. Alright. Here we go. Up, 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 up. There. There we go. So yes, the ship looks okay. So we're just gonna head back to Kerbal. Mission successful. Well, so far. Alright, so we have all three here, and so here's from Rayford's perspective. He's been out there 3 days. So let's not make him wait any longer to get back to Kerbal. Alright, so we're gonna do a nice burn in 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're off. Let's pull in the landing gear, because that's unnecessary. Man, those nervous get really hot. Alright, so from our point, it looks like we're going to want to fly that way, away from the moon, so that we should be going 0 relative to Kerbal. So we're just going to burn straight out. And when we do that, we should get into a suborbital burn around Kerbal, and just come in and then drop the parachute out and land. Shouldn't be too difficult. I don't like the getting into lunar orbit. I think it's much easier just to launch straight off if you have the fuel. Alright, but so here we go. Just gotta wait for our apoapsis to get up there. The moon is quite a nice place. I mean, it's just, it's hard to explore the whole thing. We just don't have time. And there's the sun rising. You know, we didn't stay on the moon very long. We were there quite a short time. But anyway, so we're about to exit the moon's sphere of influence here in our path. So we just have to wait a bit longer. And looks like we still have plenty of fuel in there. Okay, here we go. Nearly there, and should be happening. Come on. Okay, there it goes. Now, we're in orbit around Kerbal, and by going faster and faster and faster, we are decreasing our precipice once we get into Kerbal orbit, and that should drop just below the horizon. There. That looks good. Now I'll do some proper orbit and just do a nice little deorbit burn. Okay, so we're heading into the atmosphere now. Should be soon. Here we are. Okay, we're heading into the atmosphere. So let's go to retrograde. And actually, we should probably go sideways. Alright, so we'll just blow off. And parachute will come out now. And the way we did this, our ship is now over there, so we shouldn't get hit by it should anything happen. So we say goodbye, ship. It's a nice ship, but we won't really miss it. It did its job, and it's bringing its 3 Kerbal home. And yep, there's the planet. This should be good. We'll be landing hopefully someplace close to the planet. We just gotta aero brake first because see we're dropping still. But yeah. We should drop to around 30,000, and that should be enough to slow us down. But if it isn't, we'll have to go once around the Earth again, or the Kerbal again. But I think it should be enough. Here we go. Okay, now we're going up again. So, yeah, we're going to have to take it one more time around. And there's the rest of our ship over there. But this will provide us an interesting chance to EVA, if we want to do a little bit of flying around out there while we're waiting, because we have another orbit to do. But yeah, so if you look up here, we're almost out of the atmosphere, if it isn't going crazy. Yeah, 67. Okay, so we're out of the atmosphere. But you know what, let's do a quick EVA, because this SUcessfull Kerman hasn't really done much. So while we're flying over the Kerbal here, let's go over to our ship, or the part that was our ship before, but no longer is. Okay. This is an interesting perspective of Kerbal. Normally you're not going this fast when you're in orbit. But yeah, here's the rest of our ship. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where do you think you're going? Okay. We lost everything now. Oh, there it is. Uh-oh, come on, we don't want to go too far away. Okay, there we go. We don't want to waste EVA fuel either. Yeah, okay, so here we are. Here's our ship. That was our ship, which no longer is, if that makes any sense. And there's our ship, which is all the way over there, which we'll have to get to in a sec. Ow. Okay. So there's our debris, right? And you know, it's pretty cool. If we look in here, and actually, on our next episode, if you tune in, we'll be making a space station out of decouplers. Because, as you can see, you can go into them. Kind of. I don't know, I'll have to experiment with that. But anyway, so probably best to head back to our ship. Wherever it is. Where is it? Where's our capsule? There it is. It's actually not much of a ship anymore, it's more of a capsule. Okay, so let's head back to the ship. Okay. And this is good practice for later when we have to do rendezvous, which we will have to do if we want to ever get to Duna, which is... Oh, I forgot to mention that. There are these planets in the Kerban solar system now. And so, we will be traveling to them, but we must use this as a proving ground for our spaceships before we can head to the edge of space. Okay, so there's our ship coming in. Oh dear, okay. Okay. Whee! Wow, we missed that. Come on. Okay. So, now we gotta grab our capsule again because we're actually almost at our apoapsis. And if we get there, we are in deep trouble. Come on. There we go. So let's just head back to our capsule. And I believe we did this same thing in the first video. We flew away from the capsule and then came back to it. But so, I mean, it shouldn't be too difficult. Okay, there we go. Ow. Stop it. Okay. Come on. Oh dear, okay. So wait, we want a Kerban, right? Okay. Our capsule is now tumbling. And we will have to get into that tumble with it to... Ooh, come on, come on. No, come on. Oh, it shouldn't be this bad. Come on. Okay. Okay, let's see if we can time it right. And here we come. Come on. Oh, shoot. Almost. Let's see if we can back up. No. Alright, we're going to switch to our capsule and tell it to stop turning. Stop turning. Well, at least there we go. Okay. So, now we'll just warp. Okay, we're heading back down again. And this time, it should be our last aero brake. Might not be, but it should be. I mean, we will eventually get back in the atmosphere all the way, but it will just take a lot longer. We should have done a better burn, but alright. It will be okay. Yeah, see, we are still, unfortunately, stuck circling around the planet. It should be okay then. It looks like this will probably just be the last aero brake right here. Yeah, alright, we just have to bleed off another 400, 500 meters a second delta V, which shouldn't be too bad. Sorry about the wait. I thought this was going to be a quick mission. Apparently it's a lot longer than first expected. Alright. So, I will cut the video right now as we're coming in, but I'll turn it back on when we come into the atmosphere, so be back in a sec. Well, hello again, and looks like we are going into the atmosphere now, finally. Here we go. So I think this will be our final orbital burn, or our final landing, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so we are heading in now. We're at 39,000 and dropping, so we should make it right around there-ish, someplace. I'm just worried about how the parachute will come out. I hope it'll come out properly, and if it doesn't, then we're kind of screwed. But we are coming in a relatively flat trajectory. This should be interesting. What an interesting perspective. Upside down. Not every day you get to see the Earth from an upside down point of view. Anyway. So, we're coming to... okay, the parachute's out now. That's a good thing. And that looks like success. I would call that a very successful flight. I did cut that short right there. Anyway, so successful mission. Next week we're going to be doing interplanetary travel. We're going to attempt to launch a larger rocket and put it into Duna orbit. We may or may not bring it back, depending on how much fuel we have left, but we're going to try. And I'll cut it short this time, but have a good day, and I'll see you guys probably next week.